leaders a voice throughout the country. I heard about the meeting you had yesterday as well with other faith leaders, and so it's very encouraging, inspiring, and gives me hope to take back to the people of Los Angeles. Honor to be here, and thank you very much.
My honor. Thank you.
Mr. President, Benny Perez from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm so honored to be here with all these incredible men and women. Thank you so much as being a Hispanic leader to see what is happening in the Hispanic community. It is the largest, as you know, ethnic community in America, and to have the lowest unemployment rate, and to see my family members and my community being really empowered to live a life and not just dream, but actually see the dream come reality. Thank you for all that you're doing. It's making a huge difference in Las Vegas, and for acknowledging the churches as we partner with you and the government to make a huge difference in Las Vegas and beyond. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. You know, the churches weren't so much acknowledged, that over the last number of years. We acknowledge
Right. Thank you.
These are great people.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Paula?
Pastor Paula White, I'm the Destiny Christian Center, and it's an honor to serve you with our faith initiative and opportunity. Thank you for bringing the faith base back to the White House, and for all the great things you continue to do.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you for everything. Appreciate it. Jared, would you like to say something?
Sure. When you asked me to lead your efforts to try to reform our country's prisons and to see what we can do from the federal government, we were running into a little bit of a problem of politics in Congress. And so I reached out to a lot of you to see if you could help get the word out in your communities and to try to let the people in Washington know that making progress on this issue is more important than whatever political differences people may have. You guys came to the White House, you all mobilized your communities, and we were able to get the bill through the House, and hopefully we'll have the same results in the Senate. What happened from there, though, is it opened a dialogue between this administration and a lot of you, which has led us to believe that a lot of the policies we've been pushing under the President's leadership do help all of your communities and do help your different places where you're leading, and it's enabled us to open up a further dialogue. So I'm very happy today for everyone to be here today to talk about this administration's efforts for prison reform, but also to discuss what we can work on further together to continue to make a difference for all Americans.
Well, it's really nice, and Jared's working on a lot of very important things, but this has become, I think, just about number one on your list. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? It's just been great the way you've done. We all, I think I speak for the room when I say we appreciate it. Great job. Marvin, Mr. President,
It's an honor to be here. When you asked us to speak, the first thing I thought about was my grandfather and how it's an honor to be here. And, he passed away a few years ago, but he raised 10 kids in the inner city of Detroit. And when you were speaking, you were talking about how important faith was in the community and how it helps the family. And my grandfather did that, working odd jobs. He was a taxi driver. He cut hair. He did everything possible. But he also had them in church, and he kept them, together. He was with his wife, married for, I think, around 50 years before he passed away. But our family was able to do things that a lot of families, aren't able to do without the assistance of faith and having church and having families together. And so to hear you talking about, keeping that in the communities, I think is super important. And I'm just happy for this opportunity, and just God bless you and everything you're doing. And thank you, Pastor Paul, as well.
Thank you, Marvin. It's a great family. Great family.
Mr. President, it's been an honor to serve you in this administration. Today is a watershed moment. It's an opportunity to learn about a community that's felt left behind for years. And the things that you're doing under your leadership could drastically change situations and speak for people who can't speak for themselves. Each one of these leaders speak for forgotten people around this country who have dealt with pain regardless of who is president. And this opportunity for you to show your leadership to move things in a different direction. So it's been an honor to serve, and look forward to continue to work with you.
Thank you. That's very nice. I appreciate it.
Pastor Gerald Scott, I've had the honor and privilege to work with then candidate, now President Trump, and to observe him behind the scenes and have a number of personal conversations with him. And people ask me, why do I defend him so vociferously? And I say it's easy for me to do because I know him. And he's shown me his heart, and I know he has a heart for all Americans. And I will say this administration has taken a lot of people by surprise, and it's going to surprise you guys even more because this is probably the most proactive administration regarding urban America and the faith-based community. in my lifetime, and I'll be 60 years old in December. But when I think back on, I use good hair dye, and I've got a great makeup artist. But to be honest, this is probably going to be and I'm going to say this at this table, the most pro-black president that we've had in our lifetime, because, and I try to, analyze the people that I encounter. This president actually wants to prove something to our community, our faith-based community and our ethnic community. The last president didn't feel like he had to. He felt like he didn't have to prove. He got a pass. This president, this administration is probably going to be more proactive regarding urban revitalization and prison reform than any president in your lifetime. If we work together, give him a chance, don't pay any attention to these guys back here, and I promise you, we will do something. This administration will continue to make history. It's going to be a lot of positive change. Great things are on the horizon, I promise.
I have to say one thing about that. So I didn't know him at all, and I'm watching one of the, I would say, unfriendly groups of broadcasters, to put it nicely. And I said, "Who is that guy?" He was destroying them. I say, "Who is he?" Then I saw him 2 or 3 times, and I said, I have to meet him. But I want to just thank you. You have been incredible. You are some voice. And when I heard, okay, tell him, how long are you married? Tell me.
39 years.
Okay.
38 years.
So I thought he was like 35 years old. Okay. So did you.
Exactly.
And then he said, "Say hello to my wife." He said, "I've been married 39 years. I said, "You're married 39 years. I thought you were 35 years old, right?" But you're doing a good job. You're obviously doing it right because you look great, and we really appreciate it.
We're going to be all right.
Right from the beginning.
Gerard's been working with us a lot. And,
Great.
He used to live on my street when he was a kid. The same city.
Good job.
Small world. Yeah.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it.
Mr. President, I'm Bishop Kelvin L. Cabarrus, the Impact Church of Orlando, Florida. I want to thank you, and I echo the sentiments of all of the colleagues that have already spoken for your work as it relates to prison reform. And I definitely thank you for your commitment to partnering with the faith-based community. I happen to be in many rooms, in one room in particular, when we had a meeting a year ago in the Oval Office, and you said to all of the faith leaders standing around your desk that I'm going to untie the hands of the faith-based community. I'm going to free you and take the muzzle off of your mouth. And in a year's time, I have watched you day by day do just that by freeing the faith community and partnering with us to do what we've been called to do, and that's to impact our community. So thank you.
Well, one of the big things we've done is the Johnson Amendment. You're free to do what you want to do now. You couldn't talk because you were afraid of a lot of bad repercussion. And we, as you know, we've taken that off. That was a bad thing.
Yes, it was.
That was a bad thing that Lyndon Johnson did a long time ago. You had to have a lot of power to get it done, but you now are free to say what you want, and when you want to support somebody, you support that. It doesn't have to be me. Of course, I hope it's me. But you're free. You're the people that we respect, and you were really not able to say what was on your mind. And we want you to say what was on your mind and what is on your mind. So I think getting rid of that is a big, big factor. And at some point in the not-too-distant future, we're going to put it through Congress. In addition to just an executive order, we're going to put it through Congress. We're going to get rid of it permanently because it should not be here. Okay? We're going to work on that. Thank you.
Mr. President, I'm Sharon Nesbitt, Senior Pastor of Dominion Church in Marion, Arkansas. I want to say thank you for your policies on prison reform and urban initiatives. As you know, Arkansas has one of the largest prison rates in the country, so thank you for getting us back to the table and for your faith-based initiatives to let us come to the table. Thank you.
Very much. Great place. Thank you.
Mr. President, my name is Bishop Darrell Hines from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I pastor the Christian Faith Fellowship Church of God in Christ, and I serve on the general board of the Church of God in Christ, where we have a 5-point faith-based initiative for inner-city reform, and of course prison is one of them. And so I appreciate, first of all, being invited to the table. It's an interesting thing because I was watching news. I watch news all the time, and I saw you on news. This was just last week, and I said, I would love to go and have him hear me. I said, I don't know how that's possible. I don't know anybody who knows him. And then I get the call from, I don't want to call him Coconut, but I get him from Marvin Jr. He calls me and he says, listen, I want you to go with me to the White House. And I think the most interesting thing about this moment is that we hear several things, but to know you hear us is an encouraging moment. And I want to thank you for taking this time to invite us to the White House and then taking the time to hear us concerning our concerns in our community and in our faith, because they both need the ear of the president. So thank you.
Very nice. Thank you. So you're surprised to get that call right after you thought
I have. God moves in mysterious ways.
You know, that's right.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Bill Owens, founder and president of the Coalition of African American Pastors. I'm honored to be here with you today. We've met several times. Thank you, Dr. Scott, for the invitation, Paula White, to be here. And we are with you 100%. I'm with Bishop Hines. I'm Church of God in Christ, and we're all in it together. And we will work together to make the difference.
Thank you very much. Reverend Owens has been active with several different administrations in the past as well. He worked with President Reagan, am I right?
Bush.
President Bush.
Very close.
He marched with Martin Luther King, too.
Thank you very much.
And it was my turn to go while everybody. Mr. President, I am certainly honored to be here with you. I'm Pastor Mike Freeman from Spirit of Faith Christian Center, 10 minutes from this house. You are invited any Sunday you would like to come. I'll leave a parking space open for you there so you won't have any opportunity to be delayed. This is a very critical time that we're in. One of the things I remember the most and recall about a statement you made when you were running, you said if you were able to win the White House, that Christians would have a friend in the White House. I was really eager to find out whether or not that word would be kept as such. To be sitting here with you today as a representative of the Christian community, it is so wonderful. I'm elated to know, first of all, you're a man of your word. Secondly, you have an ear to hear from God. With your having an ear to hear from God, this country is in great hands. My prayer for you is that your ear will always be open to the wisdom and the Spirit of God. And I'm praying for you constantly, and everything I pray for comes to pass. God bless you.
That's very nice. I'll get over it.
Yes, sir. That would be great.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. President, I'm Bishop Dale Bronner from Atlanta, the senior pastor and founder of Word of Faith Family Worship Cathedral. And I'm from the business world. My father planted a business in the hair cosmetic manufacturing business in 1947. Wow. And so we've been doing business there in Atlanta for all of these years and employing people. So thank you so much. I love the stimulation that I see in the economy now. It is as best that it has been in so many years. And I'm so deeply, deeply grateful for all of the prison reform initiatives that I see underway. That's exciting and enthralling to me, as well as the urban initiatives that will help minority communities around this country. Thank you so much for your boldness and your courage to make great things happen, and you're making them happen.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Very nice.
I'm Bishop Harry Jackson from right here in the D.C. area. First of all, I really feel called to pray for you.
Absolutely.
And the year before as you ran, I felt that burden. I felt that feeling that you were going to win. And I'm so very thankful, as he said, that you're so open. Criminal justice reform is so critical because it prevents many African Americans and Hispanics from becoming a permanent underclass. And I think the opportunity zone concepts that you're working with are critical because it brings green power. We really don't need black power unless you got some green power working with that black power. It brings green power to our urban areas. So I believe we can break the generational curse of poverty and people who are isolated. And it's because of your boldness. And despite all that's been coming against you, you've stood your ground and you've been a champion. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. John?
Mr. President, John Gray, Senior Pastor of Relentless Church in Greenville, South Carolina. And I am grateful for the opportunity to be at this table at a time in our country where faith is becoming a bit of a dinosaur in a time of moral relativism.